All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Town of Monroe Board of Finance regular meeting. Today is Thursday, September 25th at 6 p.m. Please note that this meeting will be recorded and made available on the town's website in accordance with state law. I'd like to take attendance. Steve Kirsch.
Present.
Samantha Spino. Present. Mark O'Donnell.
Present.
Catherine Stauffer is absent, and is Nick on? Nick Segmentos? Nobody's on.
I do not see any.
Okay. Terry Rooney,
Here.
Ron Banowski.
Here.
Heidi Mead.
Here.
Deb Heim, is she joining?
No.
She's not, okay. Frank Duchess.
Here.
Joe Cobza.
Here.
We also have Bill Phillips for Public Works. Okay. Review of the minutes. Is there a motion to accept the meeting minutes as presented?
Steve Kirsch, I move to accept the meeting minutes for the regular meeting of August 21, 2025.
Their second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, sorry. We don't have to roll call,
No,
so
we
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that passes. Moving on to First Selectman Communications.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Everything seems to be going relatively smoothly as far as budgets are concerned. We do have one issue that's going to be brought up tonight in regards to IT. The room at IT behind Monroe, the air conditioning has failed. So we're right now we're using rental units to keep it, but we need to do a replacement. So that's something that's not on the agenda, and I just wanted to make sure that I brought it to your attention. Mr. Banowski has a little bit more of a breakdown on the financial status on that. The other thing I really want to thank this board for your support in the paver and the roller situation. I know it's been a while since we talked about that. Our paving program is doing extremely well. We are getting a lot of roads completed, and the men and women of BPW are doing a fantastic job. So I appreciate that, as well as your support with the line striper that is in. I believe they will be coming out, Bill, on Monday, tomorrow, to
Weather permitting.
Weather permitting, yeah. of
Really?
course. To get that up and running, so that'll free up some of the maintenance work that needs to be done, so that'll be a big help. So I just want to thank this board for your support on those two things, especially the paver and the roller, because it's really made a big impact and a difference. And I think over the next 2 or 3 years, we will see a significant look around our town as far as the roads are concerned. So other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay.
If I could just expand on so the emergency, there's the AC unit. It looks like it's gonna be about 8 to 10 weeks before the actual work can be done. So the rental of the AC unit to keep the server room cool is gonna run in the vicinity of $10,000. And then the replacement of the existing system is gonna be right around $22,000. So all in, we're looking at about $32,000 that would be in the capital reserve emergency repair line that was established by this board. So that'll leave a balance of about $50,000 in that account.
So do we need to should we take action tonight?
I don't think there's any need to take action. You guys have appropriated the funds. We've just always made you aware of what hits that.
Okay, so we don't have to do anything for
No.
you to take from that account.
No, it's
Okay.
unless somebody, it's an emergency repair. I think it falls in,
Okay.
AC is needed in a server room, otherwise the.
No,
Sure.
I understand the need.
I don't think there's any action.
If we needed a motion, we would.
Now, if you
We would
want to
amend-
take, I don't think action is needed.
Okay,
That's
fine. Done.
All right, moving on to, I don't have Joe on here, but
That's okay.
we'll review the financial reports and if you have any commentary on Board of Ed. Okay, so the fiscal year 2025 general fund budget reports.
So, I don't know if anyone has any questions, but these are obviously unaudited, but the surplus, the net surplus for the year is, comes down to just north of 1.2 million. Let me find the page. Um, Yeah, 1,242,264. We will be proposing transfers later in the meeting that are in your packet to utilize the surplus for a portion of the surplus is for road work that was not completed by the end of the fiscal year. Bill will be able to speak to that in more detail if that's required. But the thought was to roll that money into the capital reserve so it stays there for roads. Okay. The balance of the municipal surplus was going to be utilized to pick off one of the trucks for DPW. And then the balance of the surplus is Board of Ed related, and you'll see in the description that it's they're looking to earmark it for a couple different things. One being the structural study for Clough Hill. And then there's a couple of other projects in the capital plan that the thought was the monies for the structural study is not going to utilize all of that surplus. So the thought was to utilize some of that for some of the other items in the capital plan. One being the boilers at Jockey Hollow, which the surplus will not be able to cover in its entirety. But if it can cover half of it, maybe we only have to bond for the other half. The other thought was to replace the gymnasium floor at Fawn Hollow, which is the exact same floor that was just replaced at Stepney Elementary, which unfortunately has mercury in it. So that would need to be done. It's earmarked for 4 years out, but if it can be tackled sooner, it's not like it's posing any issues, but it does need replacement at some point. So the thought was to utilize those surplus funds for one of those capital items. I don't know if anyone has any questions regarding any of that.
Well, I understand everything you said. I'm not sure how you make the decision between the two Board of Ed projects.
Well, so the way the transfer, and we could speak more of it when we get to the transfer.
That's fine.
Yeah, but the way the transfer is worded, it
Right.
gives some flexibility.
Flexibility. Yeah, when we get to the motion, I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So that's fiscal year, that's the fiscal year 25, fiscal year 26. I don't know if anyone has any questions at this point or anything's tracking.
Had any weird expenditure, you know it.
Give everyone a couple minutes to review. Everyone good?
Yeah,
Anything?
I didn't have any
Okay.
questions.
All right. Moving on to the monthly report of the treasurer.
Everyone has noticed interest rates have started to fall. The STIP rate is down to 4.21%. It remains steady for about 6 months at about 4.4. The Fed made its first cut of 25 basis point this last meeting. Depending on who you talk to, who you listen to, read the tea leaves in between the lines, anywhere from 4 to 5 more cuts within the fiscal year are possible. Possible for 2 this calendar year and 1 to 2 before the end of the fiscal year next year. We'll see. That's always a bit of a guessing game. Ron and I were going back and forth on it the other day, thinking where it was gonna be, but we're gonna see continued decreases. August interest income was about $284,000, which was right about on target with what our plan called for. July was a little bit light, but July generally is, and then we get caught up. If I look at it historically, we get caught up the months right after that. September, we rolled over $2 million in US T-bills. I will tell you that the T-bill rates are also falling. Both the 6 and the 1 year have dropped below 4%. So it's gonna be a tighter year as we go forward, which we will keep an eye on. But we will continue to see those longer term or medium term rates drop. So most of what we have out there is still giving us a better percentage than what we are today. That's it.
Mhm. Any questions for Frank? All right, moving on to the monthly report of the tax collector. And she's not here. If anyone has any questions,
Looks normal for this time of year.
yeah. All right, so no
Glad
follow
to
up.
see people are playing their motor vehicle. It's
What was that, Steve?
the motor vehicle collection. I think it's the percentage already.
Yeah, it's more than half.
Yeah.
Okay, public participation. Anybody there?
There's, let me see if I can. You just asked.
Okay, so if there's any members of the public who wish to participate, just please unmute your phone and state your name and address for the record. Hearing none. All right, moving on to new business, we have the fiscal year 2025 year-end surplus and proposed transfers.
Madam Chair, I have a series of motions. The first new business, item 6A, budget transfer. I'll now read the following resolution and ask for its adoption. Resolved that the following budget transfers be approved pursuant to Chapter 8, Section 7G of the Town Charter for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. $25,624.20 from HR Insurance and $3,685.15 to P&Z office expense, $500.45 to special programs CMed Communication, $34.95 to special programs Memorial Day Parade, $2,830.40 to special programs volunteer fire tax incentive, $293.24 to emergency management operating expense, and $18,280.01 to EMS contracted services.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So that passes.
Madam Chair, interfund transfer number 1. Now read the following resolution and ask for its adoption. Resolved that the following interfund transfer be approved pursuant to Chapter 8, Section 7G of the Town Charter for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. $685,000 from general fund operating transfer out and $685,000 to capital reserve operating transfer in for road paving, repairs and maintenance.
For a second,
Second.
any discussion?
Okay, so this is work that did not get done and we're just moving the money over? Okay,
The works.
what's that?
It's, yes, that's correct.
Okay, I was wondering if this was something additional, but it's not. Okay.
And look, it 685 was the surplus in the budget for roads. So we thought it best just to move it to the capital reserve. It was earmarked for roads and it's staying earmarked. for roads.
Yeah, no, my question was when I just read it, was this something extra we were doing? But no, it's
Gotcha.
what we had planned and I'm fine.
Okay. So do we all in favor? We did that, right?
No,
Or
we didn't.
all in favor?
No, you have to ask. We haven't voted. We were discussing.
I know.
Oh. I'm sorry. That was a
Is there anything
question.
more for a discussion?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we
Thought you were
can.
making a statement. I'm
And
sorry.
you guys gonna vote on these individually or? you gonna
Yes.
do them all?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna do them one.
So is everyone in favor for this?
I.
Thank you.
We did it.
Sorry, Steve, I don't mean to
Teamwork
like.
makes the dream work.
Right, exactly.
Interfund transfer number 2, I'll now read the following resolution and ask for its adoption. Resolved that the following interfund transfer be approved pursuant to Chapter 8, Section 7G of the Town Charter for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. $345,000 from general fund operating transfer out and $345,000 to capital reserve operating transfer in for the purchase of a 10-wheel dump truck for public works.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on this?
Capital plan someplace?
It is,
That was on the capital.
it was,
plan
yes.
For this year?
yes.
Okay, cool.
Any further discussion? You good? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, passes.
Interfund transfer number 3, I'll now read the following resolution and ask for its adoption. Resolved, the following interfund transfer be approved pursuant to Chapter 8, Section 7G of the Town Charter for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. $212,000 from general fund operating transfer out and $212,000 to capital reserve operating transfer in, and that the funds are to be used for the Board of Education capital projects: 1, structural assessment for Chalk Hill, and 2, the balance of the funds to be used for either the Jockey Hollow boiler burner upgrade or the Fawn Hollow gymnasium floor replacement.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on this?
Just had a question about the mercury. So like, there's mercury also in the Fawn Hollow.
It's, yes.
Joe. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Fine. I'm sure you both know the answer.
Joe may know more than I do. Yeah, you know, Mike,
Joe,
it's not like it's not like it's a hazard.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, it took, when you get, you know, the floor is in need of replacement, and then when you start ripping it out, you've got to.
And then that school was built in the '60s, so that wasn't kind of.
Yeah, the gym was put in '89.
89.
That mercury floor
Yeah.
was part of a self-leveling agent. Where, we ran into that when we, I'm sorry, yeah, the gym was done around the same time as the stepping one, but when we took the stepping one out, that's when we discovered that there was
Yeah.
mercury, and they were done at the same time.
And so there's like, is there like an asset retirement obligation for all of the like mercury? Like sometimes like when you have like these chemicals and things, like there's a whole thing on your books where you have to like.
Yeah.
For all of
I'm not
the,
aware, I
like,
mean, we
doing of
became
that.
aware that there was an
Yeah.
issue a couple of years ago. And when we were removing the floor at Stepney. And we knew the Fawn Hollow was actually slated to be removed at the same time.
Mhm.
We ran into the Stepney floor ended up being a little bit more because of the
Yeah.
remediation, so.
It took a while there.
Just curious. There were other like things floating around in the P and L or in the balance sheet that would then be released as part of it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's asbestos or things that get worried about. What's your concern level? About doing the floor now versus, I think Ron said 4 years from now was when we.
I mean,
Talked about it.
the floor's in pretty rough shape. We actually wanted to do it when we were gonna try to do, while we had the company out doing both at the same time. But I mean, the floor is cracking in spots. Stephanie was definitely in really worse shape. There's a lot of bubbling and whatnot in the floor.
So if you do the Chalk Hill assessment in the Fawn Hollow, will you be able to cover the Fawn Hollow gym within this
Within the
212? If you do those two things?
I remember.
Well, I think it was originally, Danny has earmarked in the capital plan, like, I wonder,
Oh,
yeah, and I think that was because of the remediation, so.
Joe, what is,
Both optional projects may not be covered by this once the number one project is to analyze Chalk Hill, so. Then my question is, does it matter if the boiler burner replacement, we bond more or less, depending upon whether money is applied here?
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd have to prioritize which of those two is, I know. The boiler, Danny was throwing out a couple options. He brought someone in when we were looking at the surplus, hey, because the boiler burner replacement is in there for $350. But that's kind of a holding, a number to hold its place in the CIP. We're not gonna get it done for any less than that. We were hoping it was, hey, he brought our guy out there that does work on it. He said, you're not gonna, it could end up being more than that. So 200 wasn't gonna cover it, because if I think Danny's priority would have been to replace the burner and boiler at Jockey Hollow, boilers up there at Jockey.
Okay,
Number two would be the gym floor at
okay, yeah, I mean, it's a Board of Ed decision, I'm just trying to think about.
And again, my
how it plays
understanding-
from a dollars
yeah,
and cents.
the floor at Jockey at Fawn Hollow isn't it's not posing a health risk or anything, but it does protect us.
I have a question for Joe. When they do that removal on the floor, cause you already did it once before, did they like treat it like an asbestos removal?
kind of, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good way to describe it. It looks at everything, and everything.
So in different areas. Yeah.
Sealed off.
Yeah.
And it's obviously done over the summer.
Yeah.
It'll be done until the summer, so.
Yeah, both of these projects would be summer work for next June.
Yeah.
I have a question, Joe. Now that I released the ability for you guys to go and do that structural evaluation on Chalk Hill School, what is the projection of that cost? Do we have, just refresh my memory on what that's gonna
No,
cost?
we had a quote, Michelle Miller from Silver Petrocelli, got a quote for us, back in March or April from Michael Horton Associates to do some of this work. It's not very expensive. We're only looking about $11,000 to $12,000.
Okay.
That's if they don't have to, that excludes if they have to, if there's any destructive testing or survey work, whatever, that would all be extra. So if there's anything invasive that has to happen, that they have to bring someone else in.
Now, in
That would all
regards,
be extra. This would be visual inspection,
got it.
studying the plan, looking at the load.
Yep. And in that extra cost, is there an hourly rate based on what professionals they bring in? Do we have anything like that? Any breakdown of what it could potentially be?
No.
Okay.
All right, any further discussion, questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that passes. All right, so now we have new business B, WMNR revised budget.
Madam Chair, I have a motion. I move that the FY 2026 revised proposed budget for WMNR is hereby approved as presented and the full text of Kurt Anderson's letter of September 9, 2025, along with the WMNR budget details be included in the minutes of this meeting.
Second,
I'll second.
thank you. Any discussion?
Well, with Kurt and I here, my question was actually about two line items in his budget. In the revised budget on the first page under income. The membership line, which is the first under revenue, he's increased that by $30,000. And then down in the line entitled charitable gifts, he's increased that by 65,000. Now, I understand that they're going, from his letter, that they're going to have some kind of, campaign to raise money. I was curious what all of a sudden drove him to revise the membership number upwards that much.
I think they're losing, they receive grants from the federal government.
Well, I know why they're losing,
Yeah.
I know why they're losing.
So I
the
think they're
income.
pushing harder, but
Yeah, okay. I mean, I trust Ken, I trust those, the operations over there. It just seemed maybe a little over aggressive to me. And again, if they don't make it, they've got enough money in their reserve, so it's not like I'm overly concerned, but that was my really only question, but other than that, I support that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
I didn't have a report, Joe. Is there anything?
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Need first motion to adjourn.